Welcome back to this Wednesday edition of the Early Line. It is Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. On August 24th, 2024, the college football season officially begins. That means we are exactly 1 month out from the start of the 2024 college football campaign. Earlier in the show, to start off hour two, we talked to Rhett Lewis live in Indianapolis for Big Ten Media Days. It's talking season, both in the Big Ten and in the ACC. And on the opening day of ACC Media Days, both Florida State and Georgia Tech were at the mic and at the podium. We'll talk about FSU and, of course, the disaster of how last year came to a close for the Seminoles and what their expectations are for 2024. But let's just bask in this moment, if only for a second. 1 month away from the start of a new college football season. Yes, it's week 0. It's not till the following Saturday. That's our first full Saturday of the 2024 college football campaign. And even this week 0 Saturday slate to kick off a new college football season, not nearly as good or illustrious or jam-packed as we have seen even in years past. We only have 3 games that feature an FBS program, but one of those over in Aviva Stadium, the Dublin debut in Ireland, an ACC opener between Florida State and Georgia Tech. The Seminoles a 12.5-point favorite against the Yellow Jackets, the over-under 54.5. There will be a ton of national attention on Florida State, not only for sky-high expectations as the preseason favorites to win the ACC title for a second consecutive year entering 2024, but because of how last year came to a close. And that was Florida State, a perfect unbeaten campaign, topped off with an ACC championship victory over Louisville. But they did so with a third-string quarterback in Brock Glenn. Of course, their leader, their quarterback, Jordan Travis, injured in their second-to-last regular season game. Because of that, admitted by the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, Florida State was a differently constructed team, and they did not reach the college football playoff. I was mad. A lot of people were mad at it because in the 10-year history of the 4-team format of the college football playoff, Florida State was one of 15 undefeated Power 5 conference champions. Florida State was the only one of that group of 15 that was an undefeated Power 5 conference title winner to not reach the college football playoff because their quarterback was not there, not despite what their resume said or how they matched adversity each and every time following the season-ending injury to Jordan Travis. But that's old news. That was 2023. It's a different team here in 2024. And Mike Norvell's Seminoles are a favorite to win the ACC at a plus 170 number. Florida State has the highest win total in all of the ACC, 9.5, and the over has the juice. Other teams in the conference, Clemson and Miami, have a win total of 9.5. But the under has the juice. Mario Cristobal at the podium today for the Hurricanes in Charlotte during ACC Media Days. I have already bet Florida State to win the ACC. The schedule is difficult for FSU in terms of their overall outlook, but the best path for Florida State to a college football playoff to make good on what was taken from them last year is the champion of the ACC once again. Why do I say that? 12-team expanded college football playoff. Shouldn't there be more opportunity this year for the Seminoles than there was even a year ago in the 4-team format? 7 at-large berths. Not so much because of how difficult the schedule is overall for Florida State. And that's going to be a common thread this year for the ACC and the Big 12. The two teams in the the two leagues in the Power 4 conferences that trail behind the Big 10 and the SEC. It will be a fascinating case study in this first year of a 12-team format to see how many of those at-large bids go to the Big 10 and the SEC versus the ACC and the Big 12. Florida State, though, by virtue of winning the conference, would earn one of those 5 automatic berths for the 5 highest-ranked conference champions around the country. So if you're betting Florida State with some vengeance and maybe a chip on its shoulder entering 2024, take the Seminoles price to win the ACC. And it starts with that Dublin debut. But one final point just to handicap in this game. Brent Key back at his alma mater, the head coach now entering his second full year with Georgia Tech. has this program trending in the right direction. A bowl victory last year, and as an underdog, they're getting 12.5 points against FSU in the Irish opener. Darn good last year. 7-2 against the spread. The early line is back tomorrow, starting at an 8 a.m. Eastern time start time on a Thursday on SportsGrid. Talk to you then.